I now call the East Lyme Zoning Commission regular meeting of December 5th, 2024 to order at 7:31 p.m. If we could start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mr. Peck.
Yep.
Ms. Markovitz.
Here.
Mr. Foley.
Yes.
Ms. Kalal.
Here.
Ms. Jet Harris.
Here.
Mr. Liska. No. Ms. Sesko. And Ms. Uhas. We have Mr. Mulholland and Ms. LaRocco. Do we have Ms. Hardy here tonight? No. Okay. No. Since she is not here, Mr. Mulholland will coordinate the election of officers tonight, the first thing on our agenda.
So first order of business is the election of the chair as per our bylaws. So I will accept nominations for the position of chairman.
I nominate Ann Thurlow for position of chair. I
Is-
second it.
There's a second. Are there any other nominations? Going once, going twice, going three times. Move the question. All in favor of Ann Thurlow for chairperson, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain.
Abstain.
One abstention. Madam Chair, you are in charge for the position of secretary.
Do we have a nomination for secretary?
I'd like to nominate Nancy Kalal.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Nancy's elected. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Thank you, and hopefully we'll have another good year. Public hearing. Our first public hearing was the application of Jeffrey McNamara, attorney for Jennifer and Damian how do you pronounce? Firmenich, owners for a special permit for a private club known as Patagonia Art Center per section 25.5 of the East Lyme zoning regulations on property identified as 121 Upper Patagonia Road, East Lyme, assessor map 35.0, lot 44. Attorney McNamara did not come tonight. He let us know that he needs to get a few more pieces of information for us, and he'll be here next time. So it will be continued. The second thing on our agenda tonight was application of William R. Sweeney Esquire, attorney for John and Sally Kelsey, for a special permit to modify a legal pre-existing non-conforming camping resort under section 12.1.1a from seasonal to year-round operations. Attorney Sweeney had a conflict tonight, so this will also be continued to next meeting since he could not be here to present. Moving on to the regular meeting, again, Attorney McNamara is not here, so we'll move on. Attorney Sweeney is not here for application of the Kelseys. The third thing in our regular meeting was application of James Bernardo, agent for Thomas Gardner, for modification to previously approved coastal area management CAM site plan for property identified as 7 North Drive, assessor map 08.2, lot 154. Mr. Sweeney was also representing that family, and again, since he could not be here tonight because he had a conflict, that will be continued till the next meeting. So we will move on to the approval of minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? I'll abstain. I was not here and didn't see the video.
I read it.
Old business, we have none. Subcommittee reports. Anything on the mixed-use CA zone text
Still working on
amendment?
that.
Still working on it?
Thank you.
Okay. Anything on the RU 8040 redistricting from Nancy or Deb?
Still working on it.
Yeah, nothing at this time.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Any new business on the floor, if any, by the majority vote of the commission? Anyone have something new tonight? No? Okay. Again, moving on, public delegations. Public delegations is a time when members of the public are invited to speak to the commission regarding zoning land use items that are not on the agenda tonight. Is there anyone here from the public to discuss something that is not on the agenda?
Nice tie, by the way. Thanks. Man, I didn't mean to leave it out there that long. But hi, my name is Nick Menapace. I live at 38 Hope Street in Niantic. I just wanted to raise attention on two separate issues. I hope that's enough time. It doesn't seem that we're very full scheduled, but I will keep them both very brief. One, I really had wanted to inquire about this one. I did email. I did email this one to the land use department. I had not heard back, and I had just kind of wanted to make aware of this one as a concern about some of that was spoken to me about several people about the Oswegatchie Hills property right now, and about one of the, forgive me, the property owner for part of the land trying to use it for what they called an agricultural exemption, and the concern about the runoff from the, forgive me, I'm forgetting how to use the term, but the erosion of the soil that is running into the water. There were some of the neighbors that apparently had complained, and they were told that this is a permitted area, but I was really concerned when they showed me some of the pictures because it looks like it's basically been completely cleared of, well, timber. And while this is theoretically tree farming, it seems very consequential, and I know that's something where it gets into a bit of a gray area for who is technically responsible for this one, but I very much wanted to make the zoning board aware of this and to ask if there was anything that could really be done in the short term, because this could pose a serious environmental hazard. I guess that kind of ties it, because the other one was pretty small. I had wanted to raise this issue again because this was talked about a year ago, and I had wanted to see, because I had emailed about this and had not received any kind of an update because it was, again, not entirely clear who was responsible for this, but we are definitely really lacking in bike racks around town. That was not meant to be evident by me putting it in the lobby over there, but it does end up being something that I've seen a couple of the places who have tried to squeeze ones in, and it's been a bit of a difficult process. I think 374 has one, but the issue there is it kind of, sticks out into the road a little bit. And it's very much something, because I know that the chairman here is also a bike rider. I know a lot here have also one's bent, but I've seen a lot of people who are putting their bikes onto benches. They are putting them just in the street on this one because there's not really a clear place to have that. And again, I know this has been discussed of who's responsible. Parks and Rec has said, oh, it's not totally ours. Zoning has said, totally ours. But it does feel very frustrating because this is not relevant really to the comment, but I do serve on the Planning Commission, and I've also found that frustration of no one seems to know who would be responsible for this type of initiative.
Last time, I remember you bringing it up a year ago, and I think Ann Chicella was in the audience, and she
Yeah.
was going to look into it.
Yeah.
I don't know if she ever did,
I've
but
heard, they told me it was the Parks Department,
Okay.
or the Parks and Rec Department. Parks and Rec Department said that was something they were looking into, and then after the retirement, nobody had any idea what I was talking about anymore. So,
do you have any ideas on that?
Well, when we do projects, as part of what I do, I ask for bike racks, obviously on the bigger projects where there's amenities and they're willing to throw those in. Obviously, we don't require that. I think placing bike racks around town would be under the auspices of the Board of Selectmen,
okay. Yeah.
and then subsequently probably Parks and Rec, or a combination of. And briefly, I know we're not supposed to respond regarding Oswegatchie Hills. I would direct you to Gary Goschel, the
Yeah.
wetlands officer.
In fairness, I did message
He's been
them
looking into
about this
that,
one.
and he's been monitoring that, and he's been up to hike it, and we have legally looked at that question, and they have a right to take down their trees.
Thank you very much. That was a little bit, for that first part, a little bit what I was afraid of. I guess really my question for the is, it does seem that this has kind of been going in a circle a little bit, because again, I went to the Board of Selectmen. They told me, oh, that's Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec said, well, why don't you talk to the zoning department about it? And we're just,
We don't have a budget,
I know,
but we can ask developers to put them in, which I'm all for,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah,
I
you
guess
know.
that was this
Yeah.
part of it that I was really asking. I think that might be a nice initiative. It was something that I brought up in our planning, and we said that we don't, even with that, don't really have the authority to be able to go in there. And I know I've gone on longer than I really intended, but it is an initiative that I would love to be able to see about the zoning commission possibly considering. I know you guys look like you're gonna have a very short meeting tonight, but I just wanted to make sure, or hopefully very short, but I wanted to make sure I got that in there. I've been asking about this really for the last year, who's could be doing this one, who's could be doing, and we just haven't really gotten anywhere. So if it is something that you can contribute, I would love that help in there. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else here tonight to speak? No? Okay, thank you. Mr. Mulholland, do you have anything
I
tonight?
have nothing for you tonight,
Okay,
other than Merry Christmas, everybody.
we
Holiday.
we don't have an ex officio here, so we'll slide through that. You went to planning last time, or has there been a meeting since your last
Made my
time?
report last meeting, you missed it.
Yes, that's right.
It
Yeah,
was an
I'm
excellent
sorry.
report.
I'm sorry I missed it. December 10th, do we have Ms. Jet Harris attending planning?
No, to be honest with you, I flat out forgot with my mother, so.
Well, I mean, the 10th hasn't come yet.
Oh, my, see, I don't even know what day. Sorry. Yes, I will be there.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And I'll do the 7th.
All right. Moving right along. I brought a text amendment. If you all want to pass it to public hearing, if not, then we won't. We briefly touched on it before about political signs, and this is how it's worded. Signs associated with political campaigns can be displayed within a time period of 30 days before and 14 days after an election. The total area of all temporary political signs on a lot shall not exceed 32 square feet. This is specifically proposed to reduce the number of days from 90 to 30. Is there any discussion on that, or?
I wondered, does this get, I know it was a big bugaboo of Mr. Dwyer's.
Yeah.
He hated signs, except he always put them out, so.
That's
does
a
it come into a First Amendment issue if we start telling people when they can put their signs out and when they have to take them back in?
It
Well,
does.
I mean, if it does, then I don't think we should even have the 90 days in our regulations.
Well,
So, like, it's either take it out, or if we have them in,
My
we need to
understand-
decide how
My
many
understanding
days.
is we can regulate it, and I understand your question because it's come up in previous years over many years. And I can look into that question again as well if,
Maybe we look into that before we move forward.
okay.
Okay,
can I ask a question?
yeah.
If we pass it, well, even if we don't pass it, who is responsible for removing the signs? Does that fall back on town employees? Or does that fall back
No.
on the person whose yard
Whoever
is
put 'em out
hosting
there,
it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
town employees
if
aren't
I
allowed to
may,
touch
we can't touch them, it's larceny. So we're not touching them. So if you put it out, it's yours, you own it, or if a party puts it out. And, you know, hopefully everybody picks up their signs after an election. You know, there is a such thing as sign pollution, and many towns address that by regulation. So I will look into that
Okay.
question and report back.
All right, sounds good.
For what it's worth, I'd be opposed to any restriction on political speech,
And then maybe
regardless of how odious.
maybe we take it out totally then.
I don't care one way or another. I don't think we should touch it,
I mean, right now we have it in.
but it's not enforced, so no harm.
Yeah, I just wonder who would enforce it.
Thank you. Who else?
Jessica?
I think he has enough to do.
Okay, well, I think this is our last meeting of the year.
This is the last meeting of the year, next meeting's in January. Jess, was it the 4th or something? 9th, thank you.
So I hope everyone has a great holiday. Enjoy the
Thank you.
time off.
Thank you.
Anybody want to move to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn this
Somebody's
meeting.
adjourned already.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.